I'm Hannah Kaplan, and this is the WCS Wild Audio Podcast, where you'll find reported audio stories covering the latest news and newsmakers from the Wildlife Conservation Society's Global Conservation Program, Zoos and Aquarium, and their many partners. We've got a great show today, so let's get to it.
Sharks and rays are some of the ocean's most iconic species, but they're in crisis. At the upcoming CITES COP20 meeting in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, governments will decide on dozens of proposals to regulate global trade in wildlife and wildlife products. That includes whether or not to give certain shark and ray species the highest level of international trade protection, a full ban. Dan Rosen has more.
Despite over a decade of protections, a widespread illegal trade in sharks and rays persists. In a new paper, scientists, including from WCS, recently showed strong evidence of the trade in Hong Kong fin markets in species like the oceanic whitetip and hammerhead sharks. This underscores the importance of the upcoming CITES COP20 meeting, where governments have the opportunity to take action. This is WCS's Luke Warwick.
So actually at CITES COP20, there will be the largest number of shark and ray proposals ever considered at a CITES COP. 150 species are already listed on CITES, but at this COP, 7 proposals that will cover around 70 species will be considered, and it includes some of the most iconic shark species in the world.
The whale shark, the manta ray, and the aforementioned oceanic whitetip are some of the species that could soon receive an Appendix 1 listing under CITES, the highest level of protection.
Which effectively is a full commercial trade ban and often leads to protections on a national level.
40 years ago, Luke says, green turtles got this level of protection, and their populations were able to rebound around the world. Sharks and rays need the same urgent treatment.
Sharks and rays are the second most threatened vertebrate group on the entire planet. These are species that are on the edge.
Luke says overfishing, both targeted and untargeted, is pushing many species to the brink.
They're critically endangered or endangered with extinction, which means in the coming decades we could see them disappear completely. A full commercial trade halt that CITES can offer via Appendix 1 listing are one of the few resources we have left to try and save them in time.
The final decision will rest with the governments attending the meeting.
Only governments can make this decision. These decisions will likely go to a vote, and 2/3 of the governments present at the COP will need to vote yes if these proposals are to pass. We'll be providing the evidence that should help inform them to make decisions in support of these proposals.
Dana Tricarico, WCS's Shark and Ray Senior Program Manager, says CITES listings have already proven to be a powerful conservation tool.
CITES has been very instrumental in the success within conservation for sharks and rays. Countries all over the world that took these listings that were successful at CITES used that information, the studies, the science, and the policy to inform their governments and create lasting impacts both at the national and local levels in their countries.
And when countries fail to follow the rules, Dana says, there are consequences.
CITES also kind of has teeth. There's different sanctions that can be put on various governments if they don't follow the rules of the convention.
Those teeth have helped spark real change on the ground.
We've seen a study over the last decade that shows how CITES listings for sharks and rays drive better management at a local level, in local communities, at a national level, drives better data collection, drives protections or sustainable utilization. So we know these measures work.
Still, these protections are only one part of a broader solution. On their own, they're not going to solve all the problems these species face, Luke says.
But they can be a core part of what's needed to bring the sort of protections that these species need to prevent extinctions.
Around the world, WCS staff are working to make those listings impactful by helping countries enforce laws and stop illegal trade.
We've worked with scientists to produce a wide range of tools to help implement CITES listings. Everything from visual identification guides for fins to genetics tools for customs officials. And we work to create baselines of information on which species are declining in different countries.
These efforts can make a real difference for sharks and rays if governments vote to act now.
So the steps that could be taken at CITES COP20 can really help build and reinforce that and allow us to save some of these iconic ocean predators before it's too late.
The fate of some of the ocean's most threatened species hangs in the balance. For WCS Wild Audio, I'm Dan Rosen.
Today's episode was produced and reported by Dan Rosen, with help from Hannah Kaplan and Nat Moss. The WCS Wild Audio Podcast is a production of the Wildlife Conservation Society. Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to follow, rate, and review the show wherever you get your podcasts.